Hey, I'm Dan Bongino, host of the Renegade Republican podcast, and this is one of those emergency Facebook Live sessions we have to do with breaking news. So last night I was watching on the news, watching Fox and some other cable news coverage, and watching online also, the unbelievably biased, manipulative, lying mainstream media coverage of the supposed Muslim ban. You know, folks, it's amazing. The media has learned absolutely nothing from this election. They continue to lie, to throw these crap sandwiches in your face, begging for one of them to stick here and there. They are literally just making this up. I'm going to make a couple points in this one. I'm going to do a quick session here because I need you to understand what's going on right now with this fake outrage at JFK Airport over what's happening right now, this AstroTurf outrage over Trump's executive order on immigration, okay? This is another fake outrage campaign by the left based on a lie. Just like, I just put out a tweet a little while ago. The past couple weeks in fake news, we've had Russians hacking the election, never happened. We had the Martin Luther King bus removed from the Oval Office, never happened. Now we have the new fake news story that there's a Muslim ban. Number one, there's no Muslim ban. This is a total fabrication. I got into a Twitter war with a guy last night who still can't quote to me in the executive order Trump put out on immigration any ban on Muslim immigration. You know, it's amazing. If there's a ban on Muslim immigration, as the liberal media, the liars, the manipulators in the mainstream media want you to believe, then why wasn't Saudi Arabia included? That's a shocker. I mean, Saudi Arabia is a largely Muslim country. We can all agree, right? So if Trump was intent on banning Muslims coming into the country, then why leave Saudi Arabia out? Folks, does that not strike you as slightly stupid? Secondly, if there was a Muslim ban, then why isn't the language of the executive order say anything about an actual ban on Muslims? Do you understand you're being manipulated? Here's what the executive order said. It put a temporary restriction on immigration from 7 war-torn countries that have a history of terrorism where we may have a vetting problem. That's what the executive order did. The executive order says nothing anywhere. I challenge any liberal on here. Don't beat around the bush. I want you to quote to me the words ban on Muslims in the executive order. Put it in the comments. I dare you to do it. You won't because you'll be a liar. You're just making it up. It's not there. You know what you're doing. You're manipulating the American people because you're a bunch of BSers. You want them to believe something happened that didn't happen. There is no ban on Muslims. You're just making it up. Now, what happened in JFK with people with some green cards, one of the interpreters who came in, hey, listen, it was a problem. They'll fix it. One of the guys already out. But this fake outrage campaign is another AstroTurf far-left campaign to make you believe something that is absolutely not true. If you believe this, by the way, that there's a ban on Muslims coming into the country, you are either grotesquely misinformed and you've done no homework at all, or you're lying and you're manipulating people for your own political gain. There is no third option. By the way, Andy McCarthy has a phenomenal piece at National Review that you really should read. I'll put it in the comments section, the link to it. It is an incredible piece about the president's legal authority on this issue. And he says, which is absolutely true, that under the Obama administration, they had a similar type policy in the visa waiver program where people that passed through some of these same terrorist-ridden, war-torn countries had to go through extra scrutiny to come here. But when Obama did it, of course, the media ignored it altogether. It wasn't a Muslim ban then because they didn't feel the need to manipulate the American public. They are liars. They are total liars. They are completely making this up. You are being manipulated. You're being played for fools. So again, point number one, there's no Muslim ban. You're a liar if you believe it. You're completely making it up. Here's point number two, and this is from Andy's piece, Andy McCarthy's piece in National Review Online, which is really, really good. And I'll put the link in the comments section for this. If you believe, President Trump has no power to do this, let's read Federal Immigration Law, Section 1182F. That's 1182F, which states, whenever the president finds that the entry of any aliens or any class of aliens into the United States would be detrimental to the interests of the United States, he may, by proclamation and for such period as he shall deem necessary, suspend the entry of all aliens or any class of aliens as immigrants or non-immigrants, or impose on the entry of aliens any restriction he may deem to be appropriate. Is there another way to read that? Now you may say, oh, but he can't do it for Muslims. He didn't do it for Muslims. The temporary ban and the restrictions were not put on Muslims. They were put on people from these terror-ridden countries based on national security interests, which is perfectly within the president's power. You're just making it up if you say otherwise. The reason they are trying to get you to believe this is a ban on Muslims is because that would have some legal issues. They would have some serious legal trouble doing that if it wasn't based on national security interests. But that's not what the executive order said. It was based clearly on national security concerns and says nothing about a ban on Muslims. You and the media are just making it up. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I'll try to cover this on my Facebook Live again tomorrow night, go into a little more detail. But this was an emergency CR Live session. I'm Dan Bongino, host of the Renegade Republican podcast here at Conservative Review, iTunes, and SoundCloud. Talk to you all soon.